All right, let's talk about unlimited energy. So everybody asks, how do I get unlimited energy? So we know we've talked a lot about the mindset. We talk a lot about money, right? That's the thing we talk about a lot is how to create more money, create wealth, how to invest, how to structure your life. We talk a lot about, again, the mindset. All these things are very, very important. But the one thing we don't talk enough about is about how you get your body to have peak energy. So a couple of things I'm going to point out. I'm going to cover some numbers with you guys as far as the human body. We're going to give away some money here, so pay attention. But just some interesting facts about the human body. Again, the human body is a miracle when you think about it. I mean, the human body is able to do amazing things, and yet we shit on our bodies all day long. We drink alcohol, you put it full of shit food, we eat processed foods, we don't work out, we do all these things to our body, and yet our body keeps pumping. We smoke cigarettes, we take drugs. What do people do, right? And in your body, for a good portion, it's amazing it holds out as long as it really does, right? But the human body, the heart, for example, beats 100,000 times a day. 100,000 times a day your heart beats without even thinking about it. 6,000 quarts of blood flow through it. The vessels reach over 60,000 miles, again, circling the earth twice around the equator. One strand of your DNA stretches for 2 meters. Your eyes have the ability to have over 10 million color distinctions. Your eyes do. Your muscle, this is kind of cool. Your muscles, if you had the ability to use your muscles all at the same time. So every single muscle you have, and actually, pushing in one direction with every single muscle you have in your body, all pushing at once, it would equal 25 tons of pushing or pulling power. 25 tons, all of your muscles working together have that ability. And all of this is run by, here's the first question for $100, the first person to get this right, again, rounding to the nearest number. How heavy is your brain? How heavy is your brain? How many pounds is the average human brain? I'm looking in the chat window here, so give me your comments. How heavy is the human brain? The first person to get this right gets $100. Okay, and while we're waiting on that, which again is a marvel that you have this brain that's able to power all of these things that we just talked about without even having to think about it. But I want to cover something else, which is 5 is the first answer. 5? No. What is the average? Thanks, Mike Funk. Come on, guys. What are your responses? How heavy is the human brain? 8 pounds? Nikki? Nope. Come on, you guys can Google faster than that, right? You don't want to lose the video feed, I'm sure. $100. First answer, the average human brain. I could type this in faster and Google it. 10 pounds? Dennis has got a big brain. Dennis is not a dinosaur, that's for sure. One of the little velociraptors, right? The short arms. Come on, guys. I'm Googling this stuff to make sure I've got it right because you guys are not even close. I just Googled this, guys. Surely you're faster than that. What we talk about is there's never a lack of resources. There's a lack of resourcefulness. You have at your fingertips the information to cover everything. All right, who did the 3 pounds? Michelle Oliver. Michelle Oliver wins $100. 3 pounds is the average human brain. All right, so 3 pounds, and yet your brain is able to take care of all of these things without you even thinking about it. So what I'm going to cover today is what is energy, or let's get down to the basic root of energy. Okay, people think that energy is the food you eat, right? For example, the food you eat, if that was the case, you eat all this food on Thanksgiving, why do you feel tired? Do you have more energy or less energy? It's not from food. Yes, food provides energy, but where does energy come from at the basic level? Well, there's all of your energy comes from your cells, and how healthy your cells are depend on how much energy you have. And your cells have to take 3 things to survive in a healthy way. One of those is oxygen, one of those is water, and one of those is the ability to eliminate waste. So everything you do around your human body to get energy revolves around how healthy your cells are. At a basic level, your cells need 3 things to survive. They need, again, oxygen. That's pretty important, right? I mean, quit breathing for a while, see how long that lasts. Oxygen, water, and elimination of waste. In fact, there was, let's see if I can find this here. I had this somewhere in my notes. There was actually a gentleman who, what was his name here? Oh, there we go. The Rockefeller Institute, this Dr. Alexis Carrel, who was a two-time Nobel Prize winner. he had his article was that cells could live forever. That cells could live forever. And he took these chicken heart cells, right? Chicken heart cells, and he put them in petri dishes. In those petri dishes, he made sure they had adequate water, they had oxygen, and they could eliminate waste. And he kept those cells alive for 34 years, just the cells in petri dishes. And his thought is that if the cells had no degradation, could always eliminate waste, had the oxygen, in a perfect scenario, not any of the outside elements where we beat them up, that they could technically live forever, what he won the Nobel Prize about. So you've got to, if you want you to be healthy, again, I'm coming down to the basic levels with you guys. I'm going to, and just so you guys all understand, I'm not a doctor by any means. I'm just simply telling you things that make sense to me. Things that make sense. If you have proper oxygen, you have proper water intake, and then you have the ability, looking at some of the notes here, you have the ability to eliminate waste, your cells technically could live forever. But we beat our cells up, right? The shit we eat, the food, the alcohol we drink, the drugs we take, the environment around us, the stress we put on our body, all of those things cause challenge. Now I'm going to cover this as short as I possibly can with you, this topic. This is something that typically I would take 4 hours to do. I'm going to take a significant amount of time for those coming to Vegas to dig down really deep if you're actually interested in this. And I'm going to cover this stuff with you. And again, by the way, anyone that is willing to commit themselves to a 1 month challenge to do, again, to decide what you're going to plug into, again, your body, you choose what you want to do, but a 30-day challenge with me, I will send you a copy of my basically my outline for this, of exactly the things that you want to do or eliminate in your life over the next 30 days, and I promise you it will change your life, it'll change your energy level. The problem is we go through life haphazardly. We eat all kinds of shit. We don't pay attention to this stuff. And so if you're willing to commit yourself to 30 days, simply type in the chat window, I will commit for the next 30, let's give it, keep easy, the next 25 days. It takes about 21, 22, 23 days to form a habit. Let's go 25 days until the end of the month, all right? 25 days until the end of the month, and then on the 1st of June, that Monday, we will go ahead and share your results with everybody, okay? So if you're willing to commit to 30 days, 25 days in this case, this challenge, type in the chat window, I commit, and Bree, Rachel, Caleb, Sierra, make sure you guys write down everybody's names that commit themselves to this 25-day challenge, and I will send a copy of my notes to you of what to do. And those that actually follow through and are willing to share, I'm going to give you guys some really cool free stuff. Like, for example, I'm going to give you one of these hats, the brand new Professionals Network hats. Bree, we need to get more done. I'll give you my cool water bottle stuff and some other fun stuff just for participating. But the most important thing, I'm giving you your life back. I'm giving you the ability to have abundant energy to do the things you need to do. Because it doesn't matter how much money you make. It doesn't matter what you have. It matters if you can enjoy it, right? If you don't have abundant energy, why do you want to have several $1 million when you're 65 years old if you can't enjoy it, can't travel the world, can't do the things you want to do? Okay? So let's talk about these things at a very basic level. So oxygen. So the first thing about oxygen, I'm going to teach you guys. Again, these are, I think I've covered here, my challenge here. There's 12 different things I want to cover really quick with you. Some of this stuff I've covered at a basic level. I'm going to cover this really fast with you. Then I'm going to cover this. Trust me, it's worth staying till the end. I'm going to cover a really cool thing that I want to share with you guys and an example I want to show you. So first of all, your air. So air is very, very simple. Oxygen, right? The thing most people don't realize is you're not utilizing 30 to 50% of your oxygen, meaning you're not getting it in your body. So if you understand how your diaphragm looks, I'll send you a copy of this because every time I draw it looks like a penis, so I won't draw your lungs, right? I can never draw this looking like a penis. Sorry, kids. But basically understand this. So your lungs are here behind your ribs. Your lungs don't have the ability to really expand or contract on their own, so it uses everything else around it. It typically uses your esophagus, right? So your diaphragm. Your diaphragm is pushing your oxygen up or down. So if you take a deep breath, most people do this. With taking a deep breath, they lift their shoulders back so they widen at the top to get oxygen in there, right? But understand that most of the absorption of your oxygen happens at the bottom. At the bottom of your lungs are larger than the top. And so you're losing about 30 to 50%. So how would you like to, number one, have 30 to 50% more oxygen in your body? You think that would impact you in a positive way? You kind of need oxygen. And the more oxygen you have, the better as far as in your blood, right? Your red blood cells. So what you want to do is this. When you're breathing, simply change how you breathe. Most people never learn this. You have to actually structure this. Learn how to breathe correctly. I didn't breathe correctly. So you take a breath. You'll notice as I take a breath, I actually push my stomach out, right? And by pushing my stomach out as I take a breath, so I want you to do that as an example while I'm talking to you here. I want you to do two things for me. One is take a deep breath the way you normally would. And you'll see you go like this. Because you're opening your lungs at the top. Okay? And it actually taking your diaphragm and pushing your lungs from the bottom and opens it up at the top so you can actually take oxygen in. But you're losing all the bottom, 30 to 50% of your lungs are not being utilized. So what I want you to do is simply push your stomach out as you take a deep breath. Push your stomach out. What it's doing is taking your diaphragm and pushing your diaphragm is pushing down on all of your organs and taking your lungs and making them bigger. So that's the first thing, is learn to breathe correctly. When you breathe, push your stomach out, push your diaphragm down, extend your lungs, and you now use 30 to 50% more oxygen. Does this make sense? Excuse me. This makes sense to you guys. It's a simple exercise you can do. By the way, my father, who most of you guys know had some major health challenges last year with his heart, and the medication he took messed his lungs up. And this is an exercise that I gave him. This, along with his willpower, he's able to get off of oxygen most of the time now. He's not 100% off of oxygen yet. His lungs aren't healed from the medication. But they told him he wasn't going to make it out of the hospital. And this, along with other things, this exercise greatly improved his ability to not have to have as much oxygen or even use it at all, because he's learned how to breathe, pushing his stomach out and getting 30 to 50% more oxygen in his lungs. I mean, this is powerful stuff. No one teaches this stuff. So number one, the number one thing I want you to do is this. So this is about getting into the right habits. You're not going to do this forever. Most people don't measure this stuff forever. But I want you to do me a favor. I want you to set an alarm on your phone all of your waking hours. When you start in the morning, and then every 4 hours until you go to sleep, every 2 hours, I want you to set an alarm. Every 2 hours, set an alarm on your phone, maybe in vibration mode if you need to, if you don't want to interrupt anybody else, but set an alarm every 2 hours, and I want you to put 25-day challenge. All right, in the comments on that alarm. Every 2 hours, set that alarm. So what I want you to do is every other time, so every 4 hours, right? I'm going to tell you what to do every 2 hours, but every 4 hours, every other time that alarm goes off, I simply want you to breathe. And what I want you to do is this. Now, the count is really simple. It's the ratio, if you want to taking notes, is 1, 4, 2. So you inhale for 1, exhale, or hold for 4, and you exhale for 2. So the count I want you to use, if most people, the average person can handle this, is simply 5, 20, 10. So 5, 20, 10, the ratio again is 1, 4, 2. So simply take an inhale, but push your stomach out this time. Don't lift your shoulders up. Inhale with pushing your stomach out for 5 seconds. Okay, I'm going to do 3 of these exercises with you guys really quickly. So I want you to inhale for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Push your stomach out. 4, 5. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Exhale now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One more time. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Now, again, make sure you push your stomach out when you're inhaling, so you're able to get the rest of 30 to 50% more oxygen. How many of you guys felt dizzy? I want to type in the chat window if you felt a little bit dizzy with that exercise. You're going to do those 3 things, like those 3 breaths every 4 hours. Again, teaching yourself to breathe correctly. Every 4 hours, I want you to do that. Every 4 hours. And it's going to take you a couple minutes. If you felt dizzy, I see some comments, you guys felt dizzy. That's your brain saying thank you. That's you actually getting enough oxygen in your body. You should be getting that much oxygen normally. So do that every 4 hours. Get enough oxygen in your system. Start training yourself to breathe correctly. Again, this is creating habits over the next 25 days. Commit yourself every 4 hours. Set an alarm every 4 hours to simply do those three breaths. 1-4-2 ratio. Some of you can go longer, some a little bit less. But the ratio that most people can handle is 5 seconds inhale, 20 seconds hold, and 10 seconds exhale. How many of you guys committing yourself to do that? Type in the window if you're committing yourself to do that. Okay. Water. So your water intake should be, actually I'll back up here. So let's talk about your body as an example. Let's give it away another $100. Most people don't know this. So first of all, your body is what percentage of water? Is 60%. Is the average, human body is 60% water. Your brain and heart is 73%, lungs 83%, skin is 64%, muscles and kidneys 80%. Here's a question, and most people don't know. What percentage of your bones are water? What percentage of, most people don't think their bones have a lot of water in it. What percentage of your bones have water in it? Percentage-wise, the first person to get this right is $100. So go ahead and type in the chat window, what percentage of your bones is water? And I'll look in the chat window here in a bit because you guys are lagging behind me. So your body is made up of 60% water. Does it not make sense? You need a lot of water to survive. You need a lot of water to survive. The reality is, you guys may not realize this, that with your body is that the 2/3 or 75% of the American population, 75% of the American population is chronically dehydrated. Look it up, guys. 75% of you are chronically dehydrated. Looks like Nikki. Nikki got it right. The first person to get it right was Nikki. You got it as well, Jill. Amanda, you're close. So Nikki can 40, $100, 30 is the answer. Okay, 30%. Actually it's 31%. You're right on the money. 31% of your bones are made up of water. Your body needs water. How much water do you drink out of a day? Now, the other shit doesn't count. I drank 13 cans of beer. You need water for your body to survive. Water, okay? So, again, 75% of us are dehydrated. So you've got to increase your water intake. So this is easy to do. You've set your alarm every 2 hours. Every 2 hours, I want you to drink water. I want you to drink 16 ounces of water every 2 hours. That's about this size. Every 2 hours. You're going to feel like crazy because nobody's doing this. Every study that I've looked at out there says at a bare minimum, you need half your body weight in ounces for water intake. So 150-pound individual, that's 75 ounces of water a day, or 9 8-ounce glasses, if you're doing 8-ounce glasses. But they say that the best is a 1-to-1 ratio. If you're 150 pounds, 150 ounces of water, divide that out, right? So you're looking at 9, depending on if you're doing half your body weight, that's 75. Again, if you're 150 pounds, 75 ounces, or it's 19 8-ounce glasses of water a day, or half of that, or 8 8-ounce glasses, so 8 times every 2 hours, right? Every 2 hours, 8 8-ounce glasses of water, right? In order to get enough intake. So the bare minimum is 50%. So whatever your body weight is, 50% of that is water. It needs to be water intake. 50%. The best is 100%. Ounce for ounce, your body, so basically for every pound of body weight, 1 ounce of water. All right, so it's 150 ounces of water. Divide that out. Either do an 8-ounce glass. I do a 16-ounce bottle about every 2 hours. I have my body just does this now. But you've got to train yourself. This is about retraining yourself. Again, 75% of us are chronically dehydrated. That's half the challenge. If your body is 60% made up of water, does it not make sense that 60% of your diet, 60%, you need a lot of water in your body? This is going to help you eliminate waste and make everything move better. You've got to eliminate waste. By the way, let's talk about waste elimination and why that's important. You look at, I don't know if it's a Snopes thing or not, or if it's an urban myth, but as far as John Wayne having X number of pounds of bile in the system, but look this up as well. The average American has between 5 to 15 pounds, 5 to 15 pounds of fecal matter in your intestines. At any given time, 5 to 15 pounds of fecal matter in your intestines. If you're not going to the bathroom enough per day, there's a lot of reasons why. It can be fiber, it can be, most of the time it's not enough water intake. But here's one of my mentors years ago made this analogy. He said, if you saw 3 train cars, you're eating, right, going into a tunnel, and only 1 train car came out the other side, 2 train cars got stuck in the tunnel. I know it's a crude example, but I'm telling you, you got to realize what you're eating, consuming. Are you getting rid of that stuff? If you're not, where do most diseases form? In the colon, the intestines, that's where most diseases form. You guys have got to figure this out. Water intake is one of the number 1 ways you can help your cells eliminate waste. If you don't have enough water intake, you're not eliminating your waste correctly. So every 2 hours, you drink water. Figure out what you're going to do for how much and measure it. 8 ounces, 16 ounces, whatever, every 2 hours. Until, again, at least half your body weight in ounces, or preferably your complete, whatever your weight is in pounds, that same amount of ounces. All right, so 150 pounds, 150 ounces of water throughout the day. Your food you eat, number 3, is 60% of your food should be leafy greens, should be watery foods. 60%. Most people shop where? In the middle of the store, and all the processed foods and all the shit that is not alive. Where you want to shop is around the outside, where all the fruits and vegetables are. 60% of your food should be foods that are water rich. Most people, I personally don't have enough leafy greens in my diet. So you can supplement some of that as well by you can go to Amazon, buy different greens with the different kinds of greens. Make sure that whatever you get has wheatgrass in it. Wheatgrass is one of the healthiest things to take, and the amount of chlorophyll, everything else with that. You can buy something for like 30, 40 bucks a month, and I do two different times out of the day. I take in my normal intake of leafy greens, I also add to it because I have a hard time eating a big salad every time, right? So I do this along with my meals, so I'm getting my leafy greens in there. 60% should be water-rich foods. Water-rich foods. By the way, those that are willing to do this commitment, this challenge, I'll send a copy of this to you. You can see a couple of the places, a couple of the products that all the different things that I use or buy. I don't mind sharing with you. Number 4, so back up. So you set your alarm clock on your phone every 2 hours drinking water. Every other time you drink water as well as you do the breathing, right? The 3 rounds of breathing. Those 2 things, we've now covered 2 of these things, water intake, and we've covered oxygen level. 2 of the things you need to be healthier and have more energy. Eliminating waste. I encourage you at least twice a year to do some kind of a detox program for your body. Eliminating your waste. You can get there's all kinds of different options on Amazon. I use a product that Tony Robbins has called Pure Body Cleanse. You do something for your colon as well, your kidneys. Do something at least twice a year to clean your body out. You've got to have time where your organs have time to heal themselves. We keep pumping stuff into it, and they don't have time to heal themselves. Okay? Meditation, something else. We'll cover that at a different time. I've got some things in there that you can spend 10 minutes a day and get your mindset correctly for the day. Exercising. You've got to do something to move more. If you're not moving, motion, you need motion to keep your cells healthy. And so I don't care what you're doing, but every single day, 45 minutes minimum per day, do something physical. Okay? I don't care if you're walking, that's where you want to start. I don't care if you go to the gym. Whatever you do, you've got to focus at least 45 minutes out of your day of moving. You understand, most people sit in an office all day long, sit in a chair all day long. You've got to get your body moving, right? You've got to get your body moving. If it's not moving, you're not going to have energy. Okay? So do something. There's an app that I like called the Workout. It's called Fit Plan. You can get it on Android or the iPhone. It's called Fit Plan. You pick your workout if you want to do workouts. But you can find all this shit online. You can Google anything, but move more. At least 45 minutes a day, 6 days to 7 days a week. I prefer 7 days a week. You've got to move. Okay? Get lots of omega-3s, omega-6s. I'm covering this stuff really fast. I want to get to the end of this topic. Alkali-forming foods. So when you drink your water, something else you can do is you can take a lemon, right? So for every 16 ounces of water, 16 ounces, use a half a lemon. If you're doing 8 ounces, use a quarter of a lemon. Lemon, it's funny because it's acidic outside the body. It's alkaline when you put it with water and you take it inside the body. So that's something else you can do to make your water you're taking not neutral, not acidic, which again, people are drinking all kinds of things that are acidic, but it makes it actually alkaline, okay? But as well, you want to do things that help your body to make things more alkali forming, like green vegetables, almonds, lower sugar fruits, different things that make your diet mostly alkaline foods. If you look at the example, your body, if it's acidic, you're going to have problems, period. The best example I can give you is a fish tank. You put your fish in that fish tank and that pH level's off just by a little bit, the fish are dead, right? That's what's happening in your body slowly with your organs if your body is acidic. So you want to take things that are alkalizing versus acidic. This is all common sense stuff. Don't drink water during meals. We all like drinking water during meals. Take one, glass of water, maybe a half an hour before your meal, or when you get done with it, take a quick swallow. But don't drink water with your meals. It simply slows your digestion down. Also, try not eating. Most people do. They eat steak and potatoes. Don't eat carbohydrates with proteins as much possible, which means you kind of got to get more meals in. But if you're eating, for example, meat or a protein of some sort, and you have carbohydrates like, let's say, potatoes, which are starchy, what happens is your meat basically putrefies in your body. That meat is still getting digested 6 or 7 hours later. That's half the challenge, guys. So try keeping your protein, your carbs separated if at all possible. This topic I'm not going to cover a lot because I'm going to get you guys pissed off at me, but I'm going to say this is that reduce as much as possible or eliminate for this month. Reduce or eliminate foods that are highly acidic, difficult to digest, or foods that are already decaying. So this is processed fats. That's obviously want to eliminate that. Animal flesh, in moderation, fish, dump dairy products, dump caffeine, alcohol, vinegar, nicotine, white bread, white rice. Again, this is a side topic. I'm not going to cover that right now, but cut that out as much as you possibly can. Okay, for this 30 days, cut out as much as you possibly can. Now, the one thing I want to, and then obviously I want you to also take a multivitamin of some sort. You're taking a lot of water and take everything else. You got to get more nutrients in your body as well. Besides the leafy greens, take a multivitamin, preferably from the probiotic, prebiotic as well. Now, I'm going to cover this one last topic with you. This is the biggest topic I want to cover besides, it's not more important than breathing and taking water in and eliminating waste, but this is something very, very important. We have got a major, major problem with sugar. Major problem with sugar. Now, I'm going to prove this to you guys. First of all, let's cover some things to give away some money as well. So, back in the 1700s, they estimated the average human in the 1700s ate 4 pounds of sugar per year. 4 pounds of sugar per year was the intake in the 1700s. The 1800s was 22 pounds per year. The 1900s, 90 pounds per year. By 2009, the average American in 2009 ate 134 pounds of sugar per year. So here's my question is, how many pounds does the average American consume per year? For $100, how many pounds of sugar does the average American consume? Looking for the answer here for $100. How many pounds of sugar does the average American, this is again as adults and kids, how many pounds of sugar does the average American consume in a year? I'm telling you guys, this is worth all of the time and the energy. And I don't care if you believe this shit for yourself. This is stuff you've got to listen to for your kids. We are poisoning our kids. How upset would you be if someone was slowly poisoning your kids, but you and I are doing that to our kids? Okay, Karen, I've got 200. A little bit high. Okay, while I'm waiting for that, I'm going to give you guys a hint. You guys can start doing the math. The average American consumes this much. I don't know if you guys can see this or not. 6.78 cups. 6.78 cups of sugar per week. Per week. This is the average sugar intake per week, guys. Now, if this doesn't frickin' scare you and you wonder why you have problems, that's 3 pounds of sugar. 3 pounds of sugar. You remember us talking about the human brain is 3 pounds? You're dumping 3 pounds of sugar per week on average into your kids, whether it be the other names for it, fructose, whether it be, there's 6 different kinds of sugar, right? You are dumping, and everything you eat, look at the back of it. Who put sugar in a bagel? Who put sugar with their peas? I mean, come on, guys, with their vegetables. Okay, the first person to get this right, we've got Jill, 152 pounds of sugar. 152 pounds of sugar for Jill. 152 pounds of sugar per year. Let's put this in perspective here. I had to go to the store yesterday and buy a shit ton of sugar to show this to you guys. Here is how much sugar the average American is eating. These again are 10 pounds a piece. This is how much sugar you're giving your kids every single year. Spilling shit everywhere. Now, do you see any kind of a challenge here? This is how much sugar your kids are getting in an average year. I mean, come on, guys. If this doesn't scare you, nothing will. Nothing will. 152 pounds of sugar per year. Dump that in a 5-gallon bucket and hand that to each of your kids. That's how much sugar we're feeding our kids. You do this one thing and cut that shit out. I mean, let's do the math on this stuff. Okay, so let's talk about the average American as far as the fructose. Fructose. The average person consumes 70 grams of fructose per day, which is 300 times the recommended daily intake. The average American gets 16% of their calories, 16% of the daily intake of calories in sugar. 16%. The maximum per day, this again is according to the government, which half the time they err. I mean, they even said smoking one time was okay. But the average adult, the average adult, let me back up. The average adult should have 5% of their daily intake. 5% is the maximum of sugar, 5%. And the average is 16% we're getting right now, which, to give you an idea of magnitude, in one day, for an average sized woman, that's 6 teaspoons of sugar a day is the maximum. For men, 9 teaspoons. And for children, depending on their age, 3 to 6 teaspoons is the most they should get in a day. The average soda has one soda. Again, the average kid should have 3 to 6 is the most they should have per day. 11 teaspoons of sugar in one soda, one Coke, one Mountain Dew, and it's acidic. We are flipping killing ourselves, and we are killing our kids. Obesity. This is according to 2018 statistics. 40% of Americans, 40%, almost 1 in 2, are obese. Now, does this have anything to do with it? I think it's a good chunk of it. 40%. This is what's sad. This is what really scares me. 18.5% of children in the U.S. are obese. 18.5%. The trend, you got to watch this trend. 14% of 2 to 5 year olds. 14% of our kids that are 2 to 5 years old are obese. 18% of 6 to 11 year olds and 21% of 12 to 19 year olds. Let me ask you this question. What percentage of Americans have diabetes? Another $100. Excuse me. What percentage of Americans have diabetes? Percentage-wise. Again, what percentage of Americans have diabetes? Looking for the answer for $100. Now, do you feel that there may be a commonality? How many kids do you know that we give them all kinds of medications to calm them down because they're over hyperactive, they're overly excited. I have actually been around kids that have never really had a lot of soft drinks and drink one soft drink, between the caffeine, between the sugar, they are like through the ceiling. Okay, I'm looking at the numbers here. Mike Frank is 26%, Dean 35%, Nikki 22%. Again, I'm looking for the nearest whole number here. Okay, looking for what percentage of Americans have diabetes? Karen, 40%, a little lower. Keep shooting it, guys. $100. Sarah, Jill, Sarah, and Jill, you're darn close. Nearest whole number. Let's do that. Nearest whole number. This is sad. You guys look at this. 152 pounds. 152 pounds. By the way, I didn't tell you this, guys. All this time I'm showing you this much sugar. Right? You guys remember, I'm showing you all this sugar, right? You guys are like, holy shit, I'm giving my kids that much sugar. One thing I didn't tell you, if you guys weren't paying attention, this is to see if you're paying attention or not. This is 10, 20, 30, 40, 52 pounds. There's 100 pounds more of sugar your kids are getting. Huh? This is 52 pounds of sugar here on the table. The average human in the U.S. is getting 152 pounds of sugar. Again, this much every single week. And we wonder why we have a problem. All right, the nearest whole number is Sandy. Sandy got it 10. 10% of Americans have diabetes, but here's the crazy thing is, so that's 30 million people in the U.S., 30 million people. 84 million have pre-diabetes. Okay? A condition that if not treated often leads to type 2 diabetes within 5 years. So another 84.1 million people, if not treated, they're saying the CDC over the next 5 years will have type 2 diabetes. That's almost 1 in 3 Americans. 1 in 3 Americans in the next 5 years, if they're not treated correctly, we have 10% already have it, but 1 in 3 will have it in the next 5 years if not treated. Type 2 diabetes. You take a kid in the morning, what do they eat for breakfast? A bowl of cereal. Do you know how much a serving is? Look on the back, it's crazy, because I don't know anybody that can eat a half of a cup of cereal. Half a cup. The most I've seen is 2/3 of a cup of cereal is what they're saying, and looking at those numbers. Well, it's not bad, only 12 grams of sugar. Guys, they're eating 3 or 4 servings. It's like cardboard with a bunch of sugar and spray vitamins on it. And we wonder why we have a problem. Huh? Am I resonating with anyone here? People can say all they want. It's hereditary. I'm big boned. 25%, all the studies I've looked at, around 25% of your body is hereditary. You don't have big bones, you're lazy. And I will tell you right now that 75% of it is not hereditary. It's your choices and the habits you get from your parents, your people around you. So you see a family and most of them are overweight. It's not just hereditary. That may be 25% of it. The rest of it is habits. The rest of it is their choices. How many times do I see people where their family's overweight, but they're not? They look amazing because they chose to direct this stuff. Now, one thing you guys can do, by the way, if you want to, is it's called, let me see my piece of paper, I got all kinds of shit everywhere here. MyFitnessPal. It's an app, MyFitnessPal. And MyFitnessPal, you get an Android, you get an iPhone. And again, you're not going to do this forever, but for the next 25 days, I want you to measure what you're actually eating. You can get a small little scale for 25, 30 bucks. But you actually, again, it's all about becoming more conscious about it. And all you can do is, like, for example, if you're going to eat something, you can either type in the name of the product you're going to eat, how much you're eating, how many eggs, how many whatever else, and you can also scan it. So if you have a can, you have something else, you can scan the back of it, and it'll remember the things you've used the most. You can put how many servings you've had on that. It helps you be conscious of what you're actually eating. I'm telling you, you don't have any idea. You have no idea. Now, you might say to me, well, this takes a lot of work. No shit, it takes a lot of work. People wonder why their kids are overweight and obese and feeling like shit. Lock the pantry. Lock the pantry door. We have a lock on our pantry. If not, our kids will graze all day long. Your kids get home from school, they go to the pantry, they graze. They go to the fridge and they graze. If you're going to go to the fridge, put stuff in there they can eat, fruits, vegetables, whatever it is. They'll shift. You can say, well, my kids only like hot dogs, and my kids only like... That's bullshit. They only eat it because it tastes great, and the shit you're giving them has sugar in it. Think about it. We are killing our kids. We're killing ourselves. So the thing on this whole list, besides breathing, between the oxygen you're having, the water, it's you got to look at the sugars you're taking and get it under control. Measure this stuff. For the next 25 days, measure this stuff. Again, how many of you, I want to see in the chat window, how many of you can commit yourself? Again, does this not scare you guys? This is 52 pounds. No one caught that, at least I saw in the chat window. The average person eats 152 pounds. The average American. I mean, guys, it's embarrassing. We went on a Disney cruise, and 2/3 of people there are overweight, like heavily overweight. Sitting there under the ice cream machine and eating 32 ice cream cones a day and bitching to the guy from Honduras because the ice cream cone machine is down for the next 2 hours. I mean, come on, guys. We would be pissed. We would sue them. We would kill them if someone was poisoning our kids. Yet we are poisoning our kids every single day because we're not paying attention to this stuff. And the cycle can stop with you. You may not have learned this stuff. You may not have cared. You might have just went through the cycle. You've got to meal prep. You got to prep your food. You got to create meals for your kids. Yes, it takes an extra little bit of time, but is it worth it? It's never whether it's going to be easy. It's whether it's going to be worth it. It's simple, right? It is so simple. Breathe more, drink more water, set an alarm every 2 hours. Every other time you breathe those three times. You know the whole ratio 1 4 2 1 4 2, right? 5 inhale, 20 hold, 10 out. Drink 8 or 16 ounces of water every 2 hours. So you get this 25 days to do this. Cut soda out of your life and start tracking your food. Start tracking your calories, seeing what percentage is coming from fat, sugar, from all these things. And you start being more conscious about this stuff. But you have the ability to train your kids correctly. You have the ability to change their lives. Now, you may say, well, Kori, what does all this shit matter? I came here to talk about money and how to make money and how to invest. That shit doesn't matter if you don't have your health. If you don't have your health. Okay, look at these numbers. This is crazy. 16 to almost 20% of your daily intake is sugar every single day. Obesity, 40% of Americans are obese. By the time they're 18 years old, 20% of kids are obese. That to me is abuse. Are you abusing your kids? Trust me, I got work to do all the time with my kids as well to fight them off of sodas and fight them off all the other stuff. My kids, when they have a soda, Riley's kind of got out of control a little bit. We got to reel him back. But when, Maximus gets a soda, he is buck wild. I can't even control that kid because he's not used to it. 152 pounds of sugar every single year. 3 pounds of sugar every single week. Almost 8 cups of sugar. Think about it. All right, I want to know who's in. Who's going to commit themselves to doing this? I'm not seeing anything in the chat window here. Who is willing to step up for 25 days? All I'm asking you, breathe, drink water, cut out the negative shit, and actually pay attention to what the calories you're taking in, and cut the sugar. Lock your pantry. Get yourself on track, then bring your family with you. They're going to fight you on it because anytime there's change, if I give my kids a choice of do you want this bread with sugar in it, or do you want bread that's whole wheat, they're going to want the sugar. It's an addiction. But is it worth it to poison your kids? If you were feeding them strychnine, a little bit of strychnine every so often or other poisons, you're killing them. We have the ability to change that pattern. We have the ability to pay this forward. If you didn't share this video, share it. People need to see that they are killing their kids. They're killing themselves from the inside out. The challenge with your human body is you can still look good on the outside, but your shit looks bad on the inside. It'll catch up with you eventually. What's more expensive? You say, well, it's more expensive to buy all these greens and not this processed foods. What's more expensive, the frickin' hospital visit or being healthy? What would you pay? Take somebody who's in the hospital with cancer and other diseases and ask them what they would pay. Would it be worth it to change their diet as one of the things they focus on? Okay, appreciate you guys. Next week we're going to circle back to something else that has to do with money. Don't miss next week. Same bat channel, same bat time. I want to see again in the chat window who's committed. We're going to send it those that are committed. Again, I'll back up. All you got to do is share this video. Make sure you send a text to 313131 with your name on it. You need to go in and follow me on Instagram, Kori Lee Official. Follow me on YouTube, which is KoriLive.com, and follow me on YouTube or subscribe to YouTube to follow me. And by simply doing that, we'll send you a copy that I have my notes of the next. It's a 30-day challenge. We've got 25 days until the 1st of next month. And those 25 days, I want to see who's committed, those that actually follow through and are willing to give us. You're not going to be perfect. You're going to fall off the wagon. I do all the time. I also want to live, right? So I do things. I eat sweets once in a while. I go out to eat. I do those things that I know I shouldn't do because I choose to live as well. But I monitor this. And by the most, at least 80% of the time, I'm following this. You have to choose whether you want something better for yourself, but more importantly, don't focus on yourself, focus on your kids and your grandkids by setting the example for them and helping them change their life. Okay? Those of you who are willing to do that, willing to go the 25 days, you say in the chat window, we'll send you the 30-day challenge, and I'll give you some really cool, awesome things for it. Anyone that goes in and shares this with all of your friends, meaning go in and share my page with all of your friends. If you don't know how to do it, just DM me. And if you share with all your friends, I'll send a copy of my list of the top 30 books that I recommend. And if you have already done that, if you simply write a recommendation on my page, I'll go ahead and send, again, my list of the top 30 books that I've learned over the last 2.5 decades that have changed my life. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. Talk soon. Bye-bye.